Welcome to Two Desks Down, the business podcast that lets you get to know each guest for an entire season, not just one episode. I'm Erin Taylor, the owner of Luname Strategy, and I'll be your host every season as we explore business, life, and everything in between. All right, tell me what kind of vacation person you are. Are you a beach and chill? Are you an explorer?
I am definitely, I feel like I'm more of an explorer, adventure person. But if I went on vacation right now, I would absolutely rot by the pool or on the beach. I think you would have to ask me at different times of phases of my life. All I want to do is go on vacation and do absolutely nothing right now.
Yep.
That sounds
Yep.
amazing.
I agree with the phases of life because we definitely had plenty of beach rot vacations until we moved to a location that has a beach. And that's when we became explorers of cities rather than rot vacations.
Right.
We tried to do one of those vacations a couple years ago. We're like, it's been so long. Let's book a weekend. We went to Jamaica and an all-inclusive and we were bored within 24 hours. I was like, okay, we can leave now.
Right. It was we did one of those for our honeymoon, and it was so nice to we went right after the wedding, and it's all I want to do is lay here. I'm so exhausted.
Yep.
I just
Yep.
want to sit and read and just sleep.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely a phases of, I mean, I don't think for everybody, but for me, it's definitely phases of life.
Yeah, I agree. What's a job you wish you knew about when you were in high school?
I feel like I don't have a good answer for this, but I will say I wish that I knew that I wish that I had believed that I was capable of running a business. I remember I took the entrepreneurship class in high school, I'm pretty sure, because my friends were taking it. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. But there was a class and I was like, no, I'm not going to run my own business. That sounds hard and scary. And I'm going to be a teacher and help people. And I wish that I would have known that it's cool and you can do it and I can do it.
Yeah, that's wild. Mine definitely didn't have a class like that. I'm going to show my age here. We didn't have social media when I was in high school, so I feel like there's been a lot of jobs that have come into existence since I graduated. But thinking back to the career days, things like audio voiceover person or an audiobook person, car test driver,
Ooh.
or those people that scout locations for shows or movies.
Right.
Those are three that I wish I would have known about in high school. I don't know if I could have been successful at them, but I wish I would have known.
Right. I feel like I would have loved to know, I could, I mean, not that I did this, but that I could have a job traveling and making money somehow. That would have been cool.
Yep.
That would have been very cool.
I know, but they don't give you those options when you take the career tests. What are you most excited about this year?
I am excited about just momentum, expanded capacity, and to have my house finally rebuilt. That is 100% going to happen this year, and I am very excited.
That's so exciting. Those are big things considering how long it's been.
Yes, very big.
Yeah. Mine's going to be an obvious answer. I'm excited to move, and I don't have anything else exciting on the rest of the year because I'll just see what happens.
Yeah. You shouldn't plan anything else.
Oh, what'd you eat for dinner last night?
I wish I had a good answer for this because sometimes I do cook real things. But last night was gymnastics night and we're all still getting over our sickness. So I made boxed the Annie's, the mac and cheese, white cheddar and shells. We had peas. I like to put peas in it. That's always yummy. And crescent rolls.
Yum. That's great.
It's delicious and easy. And most everybody ate it.
When we went to a friend's house and they had the Costco chicken pot pie. Have you seen these?
No, but it sounds good.
They're massive. It
Believe
definitely fed 6 of us and multiple helpings of the adult. I was impressed, but it was really good. Apparently they also have pumpkin pies in the fall this size.
Oh, we've had those before.
Okay. Same big
size.
Huge size. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. I saw they had a shepherd's pie, a really big shepherd's pie last time I was there, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they were talking about that too. They haven't tried that one, but after the pot pie last night, she's like, I'm going to try that one too.
I'm interested.
Yeah. And at least one of the kids liked it. Oh,
right. I feel like both of my children would not eat that, but my husband, so that would probably be a problem because I feel like 2 adults trying to eat a entire Costco size. That's not that. No. On a day we have friends over or something.
Yeah. So, for those who are just listening in for the first time, maybe haven't caught the other episodes, you want to give yourself a little introduction?
Yes, my name is Caitie. I am a copywriter. My business is Caitie Couples Creative. Lots of C's, subtle, like C sounds in my name. I feel like it's always so funny. Like, my name is Caitie, Caitie Couples Creative. I'm a copywriter. And I write website copy, launch copy, and email copy for online business owners. And I live in Washington State.
Awesome. So, this episode is all about current events, and we are pulling some content we found from Jupiter Content Co. and KP off Threads to talk about a little bit further. And they had a Instagram story and a thread about the reality of running a business and potentially taking contract gigs to supplement your income. And I thought this was a great topic to just dive in deeper. I think you were reading the comments. So do you have anything else to add to context here?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think sometimes we need to clarify like contract work, long time retainer clients, like what does that always look like? Or even like a full time job or a part time job along the side. Sometimes, you have a retainer client, like for me, for website copy, I'm a website copywriter, but people could sign on to like have me write their newsletters, like in an ongoing capacity. Like that would feel super aligned. And like a lot of times I would love to do that with like a past client or something. But there's also other contract work that I've taken and had that didn't feel as aligned, but it was like, okay, this is great because I'm getting paid every month. I actually have like something potentially in the works for that right now where I'm like, this doesn't feel like exactly aligned or what I want to do, but like it would be consistent money coming in every month. And like I know it's within my capacity to do it. So I think there's just that like nuance and clarification. I think different people mean different things sometimes when they're talking about it. But yeah, Jupiter's from Jupiter Content Co. They were talking about the like I said, they usually have 1 to 3 retainer clients or contracts going on at once, and that maybe sometimes people feel, like, embarrassed about that because maybe it makes their business not look successful.
Right, which is interesting take that you have to have a business that constantly has clients within your current
Mhm.
offerings to be successful. When you think of like financial advice as a whole is diversification,
Yeah.
but running a business, it's like we want to slot ourselves into these buckets sometimes of like I have to have people in each of my offers, whether
Right,
that is project or retainer or whichever.
right, and I think that if you have retainer clients or these contractor positions, maybe you're feeling like I'm not getting enough inquiries to like sustain new projects coming out for like my signature offers. And so I have to like I'm supplementing with this other thing, which like I said, I would love to have that like ongoing just cushion. So in case you have like a downturn in inquiries or, it's a slow season, you still have this ongoing money. But I do think that like there still can be the stigma of like, well, you aren't getting inquiries. So that's like a reflection on you and your business.
Yeah, yeah, which is I just think it's the ebbs and flows of business and the economy in general. Like, when the first 2 years of starting my business, I took on contract project management work for corporate clients, and not at all what I wanted to do in my business, but, you gotta have that money, so that
Yeah.
was, like, the majority of my time was going to those while I figured out how to actually run a business, how to market myself and sell my offers.
Mhm.
And I think the only reason that I haven't done that since getting my business up and going is my long-term retainer clients, is I know I've got them and then can sell project offers on top of that.
Yeah. I know I had a similar situation, but I feel like at the beginning, so before I was like, obviously I should be a copywriter. What am I doing with my life? I was thinking that I would do like social media stuff. So just to like back up to like 2000, I don't know, 23 or 2022. I don't know when it was, but I was going to do Instagram. So like I had a retainer client for that. And like that made sense. Like that just was like the right model. It's like, I'm going to create your content every month and like do the strategy and do all the writing and do all the design. I'm going to like publish it and schedule it. So it's like that totally fit. And then I had like later, I worked with like an agency where I was getting paid hourly to do a bunch of different like marketing things. And like, again, it was like the beginning of my business. I was still kind of trying to figure out like how to use the skills and what I wanted to do. I worked as a contractor for like ed tech startup, was their marketing lead. Again, like it was kind of like these catch all, like I will do all these different things for you in like a marketing capacity. And I think what was hard for me was eventually I had to get to this point where I realized what I wanted to do. I wanted to focus on copywriting. I wanted to move into like more of a project-based model because I thought it would, and it does feel better in a lot of ways for like my capacity. And I like switching it up and having different things to work on at different times. But there's like this moment where you have to either be super busy because you're working on projects on top of your retainers, or you have to be like, I'm going to let go of my retainers and like hope that the universe sends me the right people at the right time to work with me. And that was a really tricky moment for me.
That's a really scary moment.
Yeah, for sure. And like, I finally did it where I was like, okay, like I'm letting go of my Instagram client. I'm leaving the agency. Like, I'm going to go all, like, I'm going to just go all in. Like, I'm going to try to go for copywriting. And it went okay. But like, I still had really slow seasons. And like, I lost like a decent chunk of my revenue at the beginning there. And it was like, oh shit, was that a
Yep.
mistake? But also, it wasn't, I would never have been able to start. I don't know. I feel like you I don't wanna say it's holding you back, but it's like there's this point of like, you don't have the capacity or the time to be able to like get in front of those new eyes or like write your new website copy. Don't even talk to me about that. Like I've because I still am working on my new website and I have been since like 2024. And just so hilarious. But like it's just like it's a capacity thing, I think, too, where you just don't have the capacity when you have these retainers. If you're trying to do something else, I don't know. But I'm not at all like shit talking retainers and contractors because like I think that's so helpful in any phase of your business.
Absolutely. Yeah, I found it helpful to have to kind of phase them out, right? Like
Mhm.
those contract gigs was like I had a couple of them going and I could let one go and then the other one go. But I'm curious how you handled it. I would think my default like suggestion to somebody looking to transition away from those would be start booking clients for a future date and then you feel secure in like giving notice at a certain date when you already have projects lined up in the future. Is that how you went about it?
Yeah, I had started getting more inquiries for website copy. And so I basically did that. But I did kind of drop them both at the same time, which maybe wasn't a great idea. But I was like, I just need to be done. I was
Yep.
like having, like, I didn't want to do it anymore. And I felt like I was going to be, like, the trade off was I will be happier to not be doing these projects, but I will be more stressed because I won't have the income. And so it was like, which do I want to choose? And I
Right.
just chose happiness at that moment in my life.
Yeah, no, I understand. I mean, that's what I did when I quit my corporate job was,
Hmm.
well, I'm just gonna quit because I don't
Yeah.
have time to do this on the side, so let's just
Hmm.
quit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we've talked a lot about, like, starting out, but I think that there's a point too, as a business owner, when you might be looking to pivot or maybe something in your personal life has come up where that contract gig gives you some security and, like, I don't
Mhm.
have to market as hard during this time period, and I don't have to try as hard because I know I have this at least in the back burner.
Yeah.
Um, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely me when, like, to back all the way up, I used to have a business creating resources for teachers. And then I decided I wanted to be a freelancer and help people with Instagram, help them with their marketing. And then, like, a week or maybe a couple weeks after I announced that, I like got hired as a contractor for the ed tech company. And it was great because, yeah, I didn't have to market myself at all. I just had one client. Every minute that I had available to work my business, like, went to that company and, like, I got paid and it was great, and I, like, posted on social media. Sometimes people still knew who I was and, like, the niche I was in, but I didn't have to do anything until my husband ended up leaving his corporate job to start a business. And I was like, it'll be fine. Like I have this contract job and I can get some more clients. And literally like within a month of that, the startup ran out of money and I lost them as my contractor. And I was like, oh shit, like here we go. Time to get more clients. And that was not a great time. That was very stressful.
No. Yeah. I know we talk about it with like it's oh this it's the security, but just like any job, they can
Mhm.
also fire you at a moment's notice even if you have a contract. There's always some clause in there that bye.
I know. It's like now that we don't have any more money to pay you. So this is done. I was like, oh, well, that sucks. And I
Yeah.
think too, like, I mean, right now it's February. I'm booking website projects for May. Like, I have a lot of things lined up. I'd say at this moment in time, my business is more successful than it has ever been, which is good, trending upwards. But I'm still looking at Like someone approached me for a retainer contractor position and I'm like, that could be good because like you said, like sometimes you just want that extra influx of cash. You have things that you need to pay for. Like I mentioned, my house is 100% broken and like I'm not totally sure where some of the money to like improve like we have, all the things that our insurance is paying for, but then we're like opting to do a couple of extra things that won't be covered by insurance and I'm like, I don't know where that money's coming from yet, totally. Or like I have like a retreat I want to go on or like a bachelorette party I want to go on. And I'm like, what if I didn't have to stress about that? And I just knew there was an extra couple $1,000s coming in every month doing this job that I don't really want to do, but it could pay for my new kitchen or it could pay for me to go to the coast for this party. Like, I don't know. I want that money.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. No shame for bringing in the extra cash. Like life
Right.
costs a lot of money,
Right. And that's what Caitie said here is that the economy is trash. Leaving the house is expensive. Like I'm trying to be
right?
debt free. And that
Seriously.
the contract gig is the perfect solution. And that's what they said. And like I 100% agree.
So I am very curious, without giving away too much information on this particular opportunity, I'd be curious on how do you go about weighing the scope, the deliverables based on your current capacity? What was your thought process, or what is your thought process in making this decision one way or the other?
Yeah. So first of all, I went back and forth like, do I even want to say maybe or yes to this? Because it didn't feel like it's not aligned with the kind of work that I want to be doing moving forward. Like, I really like writing copy that is full of personality and it's a lot of times for like a personal brand. And it's just like, it's entertaining to read, and this would be much more like academic writing, which I'm 100% capable of doing. It just doesn't sound as exciting. And that's okay. Like, it's a cause I really care about and all that stuff. It's great. I had to figure out like how, like you said, within my current capacity, I would make it work. They want to do it by the hour. And so I kind of put together a proposal of like, this is how I can make it work for me. And I sent that off yesterday. And they may be like, no, this isn't worth it, And that's fine because I don't want to bend to a point where I'm uncomfortable or like making it fit into my life in a way that doesn't fit. So I said, they're going to pay me at the beginning of the month. You're paying me for a set number of hours. If you don't use your hours, they don't roll over because I can't be like, this month I'm going to work for you 20 hours, but you only use 10. And now suddenly I'm working for you 30 hours the next month, or that's not, yeah, I guess I was looking at 5 hours a week is what they had said maybe. And then things like if you give me something that is a faster turnaround, like my rate goes up 50%. Or like if you want me to work beyond those 20 hours, like my rate goes up 50%. Like different things where I'm trying to like keep that space for myself so that I'm not getting into a position where I'm super overextended and feeling blindsided by things that they're handing off to me.
I love all of that because you brought up a good point too. Most of these types of positions aren't going to pay you like we would do. Typically, we do a proposal for entire scope, whereas
Hmm.
like all of these are obviously like a little bit more hourly typically.
Yeah.
But I love that you came back and said, these are my demands.
So we'll see if they're like, these demands are crazy. Like, this is not going to work. But like at the end of the day, like if they say that's not going to work for them, then like, okay, that's fine. Like I would love to have that extra money, but I don't want to do it in a way that is going to make me sad and stressed.
Right, right. Do you have an end date on that too? Is it for like a set number of months?
Well, they had suggested 6 months at first, and that feels like a really long time to, especially when I don't know. Like, so I said, let's do this for a month and just test it out. And then we can reconvene at the end of the month and decide if we want to, like, if we both decide we would like to move forward. And so again, maybe they won't like that either because they want to find someone who will be set in stone for a longer period of time. But I don't want to find myself like 3 months from now wishing like, why did I do this to myself if it's not going well? But if it does go well, I'd love to be able to make that decision wholeheartedly to say, yeah, let's continue.
I love that. I love that. Because right now, you would have a discovery call with a potential client, and then
Mhm.
you'd only bring them on for like a project. So you
Yeah.
don't have to work with them again after this. But a
Yeah.
retainer, ongoing contract work, you're kind of stuck and you don't really know their working style until you're
Yeah.
in it.
No, I have no idea. And like the person that reached out to me, we went to high school together. So like I know them and like they are a nice person and like we have a history, like they're a respectable person who, I would be happy to work with them, but like I don't know anything else about the organization or like the kinds of work I'll be doing. I also don't totally know, like, my family's been sick all month. Like, what is it going to happen? I've got projects lined up back to back to back. I don't want to get myself in a position where I'm just like so overextended, having to open my computer again at 8 p.m. to write things. That doesn't sound like a good plan. So I'd like to test it. Just
Yeah.
test it first.
I love that. You're like, if I'm going to work at 8 p.m., it's going to be on fun copywriting.
Yeah, it's gonna be on, like, a cute little carousel that I wanna make for my feed, and
Yep.
that's it.
Love that. And does your schedule change during the summer?
That's a good question. Last summer we moved, and so I kind of was like, "I don't know what my life is like." I mean, it will, but now we're here 5 minutes away from my parents, so we have all of this new help that we've never had before because, yeah, otherwise it probably wouldn't. I would love to say I'm gonna take, like, July off or something, but, like, I'm just not at that phase in my business yet.
No, I know a lot of moms that I've worked with, they're like, "Oh, summer hours, we're like limiting the number of projects," or "I'm not working on Fridays," or something to for them to spend more time with the kids while they're out of
Yeah.
school.
'Cause my husband and I we both are self-employed, so, like, normally we just split the time where it's like, I work for 4 hours a day and he works for 4 hours a day, and if the kids can go to my parents' house for, like, a couple then we might both get an extra hour or 2, so I feel like I'll probably still work 20 to 30 hours a week, but in the future, I would love to be like especially as a former teacher, one of the things I was like, "I can never leave teaching because summer vacation." And then I realized last year, I was like, "Well, if I'm a business like, I could just not work and, like, I could just take July off." Like,
Yeah,
that's the thing I can do. But, financially, I'm not there at the moment.
yeah.
Like I said, I'm rebuilding a house. I've got bachelorette parties to
That's
go on.
expensive. That's so expensive. Yeah, okay. So I'd love to talk about that a little bit more as far as schedules in the summer and how you get
Mhm.
to a point where you, like, step back or fully step away, because obviously this possibility with consulting would kinda be like a retainer,
Yeah.
just a little bit different than you would probably set up for your own business. But do you have a retainer right now for your own business? An
No.
option? Okay. Is that something you've considered?
Yeah, I go back and forth. I go back and forth between, like, if I would do it I technically offer newsletter retainers. I have had a newsletter retainer in the past. I think I'm tempted to do it where I only do that with past clients because I think it would streamline things exponentially. If I already know you and your business, I wrote your website copy or whatever else, like, this would be so much easier for me to just, like, hop in and write a couple emails for you every month. Um, Outwardly, I do offer it, but internally, I'm like, maybe I need to like shift this a little bit. And I'm trying to think. I like have another client who had approached me about like a past client about doing like an ongoing partnership in a sense where she has different like sales pages she needs to write and like registration pages she needs to write and like email she needs to write for those. And so she does a lot of copy. And it's like if we could work together for a set amount of time to kind of get all that stuff done, sure, that's fine. I'm pretty flexible as far as if someone has a certain way they'd like to work together, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. I'm just curious, like, I feel like an email retainer would set you up perfectly to take a month off in the summer when you don't have projects, but you could kind of, like, pre-do that work and
Yeah.
then not really have to work.
Yeah, for sure. I think that, like, if I were to take a month off in the summer, I would probably not, like, book projects, like website copy projects, but then it would be like, if I have retainers, we could still do
Right.
those. Or if, like, they wanted to pause because they didn't wanna send emails in the summer, whatever it is, like, we could pause that too.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
fine.
and some of that stuff you can kinda batch, I
Yeah,
assume,
for
like,
sure.
especially once you get going, like,
Yeah, yeah.
4 emails for a copywriter, I don't feel like I don't know, you tell me. I
Yeah.
feel
It
like
depends on the person. Like, the last retainer client I had was a mortgage broker in Australia,
oh,
and I'm a former teacher in Washington State, so there was a little bit of, like, wrapping my head around stuff sometimes of, like, "What are they doing over there to buy houses?" But she also wanted to write fun newsletters that were, like, story-based, and it was cool. So it was a good match, but depends on the newsletter and the person.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, and doing it with past clients, you get to screen them too.
Yeah, for sure. Versus going in blind and then again, like agreeing to a 3-month contract or more and then being like, "Oh, wait, I don't think I wanna do this anymore."
Yeah, I know. I feel like I've been seeing so much hate on discovery calls randomly on Threads and
Uh,
Instagram, and I'm like, "No, absolutely not. I'm not like, I work with clients long term. I'm not doing that without a call."
yeah, and like same thing, or even the people letting people book a discovery call before inquiring. Like, I don't wanna get on a discovery call until I've, like, pre-screened to make sure that this is a good use of both of our time. So I can be like, I can respond to your inquiry and say, "Yes, I'd love to book a call with you," or I can respond to your inquiry and say, "I don't think that we're a great fit. Like, here, either here's someone else you could talk to, or here's why. Good luck." But I'm very protective of, like, both my time for that call and also the ongoing project.
Yeah, I do let people fill out my form and book at the same time, but I do go look at it, and I have they can't book last minute, so I have plenty of
Right.
time to review and reach out
Sure.
if it's not a good fit.
That makes sense. Like, "No, actually."
Actually, I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like every once in a while, as business owners, we get this itch. I don't know, maybe it hasn't happened to you, but what am I doing? Can I do this forever? I should just go back and get a corporate job. And you go look for
Yeah.
jobs. You have that moment where you're like, I'm
Mhm.
going to search. And you're like, this is terrible. I'm not doing that. But it might scratch an itch for some people to go find some corporate, contract work
Yeah,
part time to just remind ourselves why we keep running our own business.
for sure.
Extra money, but also a nice mental reminder.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like I've seen a lot of people, or maybe not a lot, but an uptick in the number of people who have said they have gone back to corporate or gone back to a 9 to 5 just so they needed a break. Because there is so much pressure and stress about making this work, getting enough inquiries, sustaining this amount of income so that you do have enough for everything. And then being able to, like you said, sustain it in the long term is can be daunting. I think for me, as before when I was a teacher, I had a very clear career path. I was like, I'm a teacher. And then I left the classroom and I was an instructional coach. I thought maybe I would I never wanted to be a principal, but I thought maybe I'd be like at the district level, like maybe I'd be a professor someday. Like that would be cool. And then I left and I was like, what do I do now? Like, I don't know what my life's gonna look like in 10 years. I don't know what my life's gonna look like. Oh, am I gonna do this till I retire? When will I retire? Like, these were all questions I didn't have the answer to anymore, slash still don't. And that's kind of scary.
Yeah, there's a lot of unknowns as a
Yeah.
business owner. It's a lot of risk. I don't know. I'm naturally risk averse.
Same. I was
Here we are.
100%. And I think that you just have to kind of be okay with saying, like, yeah, I don't know what I'll be doing in 15 years. It could be this or something else, but like, I trust that I will figure it out,
Hmm.
which
Yeah,
is not something that necessarily comes naturally to me. I want to know the plan.
I want to know the plan. I want to have it planned out to the
Yeah.
minute.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Yeah, but it's usually it's been worth it so far.
Mhm. For sure. Me too. I'm glad I'm here. And
Yeah.
I didn't, I mean, I think it's like if I would have been, I mean, I was scared to start a business for a long time. And if I had stayed scared and not done it because I was like trading the stability and trading the plan for this like crazy who the fuck knows what's going to happen, I'm glad I didn't not. I'm glad I'd made the trade.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, this has been a good conversation. Thank you so much for joining. We'll see you next episode.